What's up YouTube, jDantastic here, and today I wanted to do a little review reaction video to the first episode of Dragon Ball Super. I didn't want to do it over any gameplay or anything, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys for a second, and I'm doing it a couple of days after the fact that people would be able to find a subbed version, so that way you could watch it before you watch this video, and so I don't really spoil too much of anything for you, which if this is a spoiler, then you've been out of the loop, because the manga has been out for a while, and pretty much everyone has known what was going to happen in episode 1, but I wanted to just give people enough time to watch it if they wanted to watch it. So if you haven't watched it and you don't want to see it until it's been dubbed or until the US version comes out, then you should not watch this video, because there are going to be some spoilers, and I'm going to be talking about the first episode of Dragon Ball Super. So let's get started. I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely great. I mean, from the intro to the ending, I don't think there was anything that I didn't like about the episode. I mean, all of the characters, well, most of the characters were there that I figured would be. And for a starting episode, which is normally, it's not filler because it starts the show, but it feels like filler most of the time because it's the setup for everything, and there's not too much going on. But even though it was that type of episode, I mean, it was fantastic to see all of these characters again in the show, not just the movie, but in the actual show, the beginning of something that's going to be just really great. I can feel it already. It was just awesome. Things played out a little bit differently than what I had originally thought they would, based on the manga translations. There was some stuff that didn't happen, I guess, which could just be because obviously the show was always different than the manga, just slightly. All the core elements are there, but things are a little bit different. Most notably, when Goku was farming, he does go Super Saiyan and do some, like training stuff. Whereas the manga, though, he had like a flashback to where he was fighting Frieza and Buu, and you could kind of see that, and he was going through the motions, and that didn't happen here. It just showed him, doing the fighting and the kicks and stuff. So that wasn't there, and at least from the sub version that I saw, and maybe the translation was a little bit rough, I don't know, it seemed pretty spot on to me. So I think the show was just a little bit different. Beerus didn't mention anything about being poisoned. He didn't blow up the entire planet that he was scheduled to blow up. He only blew up half of it, and there was yeah, just no mention of the poison for Beerus at all, and he didn't recollect the Super Saiyan God. He didn't recollect that from the food that they gave him. So I don't know if that's going to be an episode 2 thing. I mean, theoretically it should have happened in episode 1 based on the manga, but it didn't. He didn't mention anything about Super Saiyan God. I mean, he kind of reacted to it a little bit, like he thought that the name was concerning, but he didn't mention anything about it being a recalling anything in his mind or something like that. So but other than that, I mean, the intro was fantastic. The outro was fantastic. The music was great. The characters were awesome. It had this really fun, loving feel to it that was so reminiscent of Dragon Ball, when Dragon Ball was happening. Especially the adventure with Goten and Trunks. I thought that was great. That was probably my favorite part of the episode. Just them, going on this little small adventure. I mean, it was a very small part of the episode, but it was great. They like journey out into the wilderness. They take on this like monster snake to get this wedding gift for Videl, which turns out is just normal spring water. But it was really sweet. It was like really cute. These kids are going out there and trying to find this gift, and they think it's like the best thing ever, when it turns out it's just water. But Videl really loves it. Really loves the gift, and I thought that was really touching. One of the things that I actually thought, I've been thinking about it a lot, and people have been giving Gohan kind of this bad rap. He's just a nerd now. He's not a fighter. Why isn't he training? And I think it's kind of cool. I think I've come around to, it's cool that he's happy. He's doing something that he likes. He clearly enjoys studying and being this type of person, and he wants to be someone that's great. He never wanted to be a fighter. I don't think he ever wanted to be a fighter. He was just put in these situations where he had to fight. That was it. He had to fight. He had to go do it. And now that there is a current time of peace, he can really just kind of spend his time doing what he wants, and he wants to study, and he wants to be with Videl, and, you know, they're getting married and stuff, and I think it's great. I think Gohan's character is kind of cool. It's kind of cool seeing him just as a normal, nerdy dude. I mean, he's got to live his life, right? I mean, he's not like his dad. He's not just going to travel to distant planets and start fighting people. That's not Gohan. That was never Gohan. This is Gohan's true character. I mean, this is what he always was, truly inside. He was never a fighter ever, and so I think it's kind of harsh to give Gohan such a hard time about it. And I think he looks kind of cool as a nerd, to be honest. I mean, I like his new style in the fight scenes where he's like fighting people in his nerd vest and stuff and his glasses. Like, I think that's great. That's awesome. Because he can still fight if he wants to. He's obviously still powerful. It's just not something that he focuses on. I think that's kind of cool. He doesn't necessarily have to. One of the other things that stood out that I thought was really cool, that played out a little bit differently than I had originally imagined, is Hercule comes and he gives Goku the 100 million Zinni, which is more money than he could ever imagine. And obviously Goku at first is like, I can't, it's too much money, there's no way. And then Goten points out, well, if we had all this money, then you wouldn't have to work and you could go train with King Kai. And so he takes it back to Chi-Chi, and at first I kind of thought that Chi-Chi would still be upset, because that's kind of Chi-Chi's character, is that she doesn't want anyone to fight either, and she wants everyone to study, and she just wants Goku to work and be an honest man. But I was kind of wrong in that sense, or at least in this episode I was wrong in that sense, because he gives her the money and she's super stoked, obviously, and she's all proud because now they can get Goten a good school and a good teacher, so that he can learn and be something great. And she also is totally cool with Goku going and training with King Kai. I mean, she tells him, you know, be sure to stop in every once in a while, don't just abandon your family and leave us here to live alone. But she's totally cool with it. She's like, yeah, sure, go train with King Kai, this is great, we have all this money, I can be with Goten, and you know, he can get his education and we'll be fine, and you can go do what you want to do, and everyone's happy. It was just such a happy episode. We didn't really see anyone, we didn't really see Krillin, we didn't really see Vegeta. It was mostly just Goku's family. Trunks was in it. Bulma had a brief role. Videl was in it. Hercule was in it. Majin Buu was in it. Obviously, Whis and Beerus were in it. But just a short clip there of them on the planet, and then the planet being destroyed. Another little funny tidbit is that after Master Roshi hears that Goku has all this money, he sprints into the house. Goku had already left, but he sprints into the house and he's yelling about how came across all this money and how they should purchase interesting magazines with it. And of course Chi-Chi is the one standing there, and so she looks at him with like these flame eyes and kicks him out of the house. It's just classic. Hey, sorry about that. Video just stopped recording there for some reason. So just to wrap it up, what I was talking about, Master Roshi, classic Master Roshi gets thrown out of the house by Chi-Chi for wanting to spend all of Goku's money on porn, basically. But yeah, it's just a really fun, great episode. I mean, there was a little bit of the sense of danger there at the end, with the Kai standing on the planet, kind of giving a foreshadowing, like what's gonna happen now. But other than that, just fantastic. I loved every second of it. I don't think there's anything that I would change about it, and I just look forward to the rest of the series, the rest of the manga. Even though that might not be the main focus right now, the series is probably more the main focus, but they're still going to be great. And yeah, I'm not going to put a link in the description, because I don't want to take a chance on putting a link there and then having it get taken down and you know, directing you guys to something that's not currently up. It should be pretty easy to find a subbed version, you know, right now. Just search it out and you should be able to find one fairly easily if you do want to watch the episode. So that's great. If you do, I think you should. I think it's a great episode. The subbed version worked really well. You know, I watch a lot of anime subs anyway, so it didn't take away too much from it. I still, you know, am really excited for the US version to hear it with the voices that we all know and love. But yeah, thank you to the people who worked so hard to make it subbed so quickly. And thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If it's your first time stopping by my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Stick around with us, have some fun here. And as always, I will talk to you in the next video. Later.